By the end of the 1984 operating season, the Norfolk Southern Steam program had reached its pinnacle in popularity, totaling 97 excursions over an 8-month span. With the bulk of the work being powered by Norfolk and Western J-Class number 611, it was clear that another large locomotive was going to be needed to haul the ever-growing number of sold-out excursions. As luck would have it, displayed outdoors in Roanoke at Wasena Park was a 2664 Simple Articulated, capable of hauling 17,000 tons and competent at speeds reaching 70 miles an hour, one of Norfolk and Western's own, Class A number 1218. On May 10th of 1985, the 1218 was towed from Roanoke and sent to the Irondale shops in Birmingham, Alabama, to see if the lifeless engine could be brought back under steam once again. After 22 months and close to $1 million, the 1218 moved under its own power for the first time in almost 30 years. While hauling a string of hoppers from Irondale to Wilton, Alabama and back, she showcased an effortless preview of the power she would soon exert on the excursions to come. April 26, 1987. It's a cloudy Sunday morning as the 1218 is made ready for the day's assignment. The engine and her consist are spotted at the former N&W Roanoke station, just blocks away from where she was first built. The day before marked the 1218's inaugural excursion with a steam program, completing a round-trip run to Bluefield, West Virginia and back. Today's outing is a short one, about 49 miles eastbound to Lynchburg, Virginia, and then return. A second round trip to Walton, Virginia is scheduled for later in the afternoon. At the throttle of the 1218 for today's outings is Norfolk Southern CEO, Mr. Robert B. Claytor. The 1218 was designed and built by the Norfolk and Western Roanoke shops in 1943. Of the 43 Class A 2664 articulateds delivered to the railroad, she is the sole survivor. Standing 16 feet tall and at a length of 122 feet, this iron giant weighs in at a whopping 951,600 pounds. Because of her massive boiler, which operates at 300 psi, her two sets of 6 70-inch drivers, and her all-modern superheating appliances, the 1218 produces an unprecedented amount of power. In comparison to the steam program's other common engines in terms of pulling power, the Southern 4501 produces close to 54,000 pounds of tractive effort, not bad for a light Mikado. The N&W 611, an impressive 80,000 pounds, and the 1218, 126,000 pounds. More than enough power to pull any sold-out excursion across the system. And with 5,100 horsepower, maintaining track speed won't be a problem either. Gaining distance from Roanoke, the 1218 accelerates the 21-car train through the small town of Bonsack, Virginia. Nearing Montvale, the train eases across the bridge spanning the Lynchburg-Salem Turnpike. At Bedford, the 1218 has the train really moving as she pounds across Grove Street. Just west of Lynchburg, the train is turned on the Y. Here, the engine will be quickly serviced and inspected before the return to Roanoke. The 1218 would go on to pull 192 more excursions for the Norfolk Southern Steam program. Her operating career would come to an end in November of 1991 when she was sent back to Birmingham for an extensive overhaul. The plan was to have the 1218 running again for the start of the 1996 operation season, but this wasn't to be. While still disassembled at the Irondale shops, the Norfolk Southern Steam program abruptly came to an end in December 1994. After the deaths of William and Robert Claytor, the two men responsible for starting the steam program and for the 1218's return, much unwanted change came to the whole steam operation during the 1994 season. Major restraints were placed on the operating schedules, limiting when and where the trains could go. To make matters worse, yearly insurance costs climbed from $10 million to $25 million, and they were about to rise again the following year. And to top it all, a switching accident in the Lynchburg yard during the early hours of September 28th resulted in the derailing and damaging of 9 steam program passenger cars, 2 of which were deemed unrepairable. Unfortunately, there was going to be no recovering from this. Within 3 months, the Norfolk Southern Steam program was officially drawn to a close, bringing to an end 3 decades of operations, totaling 1,823 excursions, powered by 20 different steam locomotives. The 1218 remained in Birmingham until 1996, when she was reassembled and towed back to Roanoke to be stored at the NS East End shops. In 2001, the Norfolk Southern donated the 1218 to the city of Roanoke, where she was reunited with the 611 and placed on permanent display at the Virginia Museum of Transportation. While it is very unlikely she will ever feel the heat of fire on her grates again, the 1218 stands today a proud display representing the men and women who designed and built her, and of those who worked to give the 1218 a second lease on life over a quarter century later. For more information about the 1218 and other models available for Trainz Simulator, visit www.kltrainz.com.